What's going on, everyone? We are back for our August/July market update. We have now been through 7 months of this.
Yeah.
We are making our way through the year. If you caught us last month, we did a big half-year update based on what happened in June and what happened the first 6 months. But let's dive into what happened in July.
Yeah, definitely. So the market, like we've been mentioning for, I'd say, about 3 months in these videos now, is starting to catch up with, the slowdown of last summer. Things kind of hit a halt, I would say.
Well, July was the big month.
July was the moment. Everybody was
that was the ejector.
Are you feeling it, buddy? I'm like, aren't we all? We all are feeling the seventh rate hike of the year. Yes, we all felt that very much so. So there are going to be a couple comparisons that are going to be interesting to hear from us. So let's just jump right into a few of them.
All right, so let's see. Units sold in July.
Units sold in July, only 2,041 homes sold in July. That is a very, very small number, and it's actually as crazy slow as it was last July. It's just a little bit slower this July than it was last July when everybody just froze for a moment.
And what's that?
Only 1.2%. So it's very, very minimal. But when we're talking about that panic, shutdown almost, it was almost like May of 20 with COVID. That's how many transactions didn't happen. The fact that it's even lower is nuts to me. So
what's crazy to me is the month over month on units sold.
Oh, the month over month, it's just even worse, actually. Down 11%. And we were talking last month about how slow it is, and it's 11% slower.
This month?
This month, yeah.
What's crazy to me is if you look at the news and you see mortgage interest rates, we really haven't seen a jump, minus some news that came out today that we're filming, but the rates hadn't jumped month over month to kind of realize that 11% dip. Do you know anything on your end of why that might have happened?
No, I just think it's an inventory, crunch, of course, as we're all saying, because guess what? Inventory is still down. It's a staggering number of number of homes that are not on the market. New listings, the comparison, Beau, hit them with it.
So new listings in July 2023, we had 2,354, which is actually 47.2% less than July of 2022.
That's like half, right?
It's almost half.
Oh, wow.
But and then this is my take on that. June was really good for real estate in 2022. July is when all the bad news started hitting. Yeah. So the rush to list your house, I think, hit in that July. And that's probably why we see such a dramatic number, because in my mind, I can't think of any other way to comprehend that except for the panic sell of July of 2022.
Sure, anybody, especially if there were investors that had leverage on homes, so leverage is mean your hard money loans, you want to just get that out of there because you smell blood in the water and you think things are going to crash. Everybody was hitting the market with those sort of homes as quick as they could back in July and August of last year. So that's probably why that number is.
Yeah, so I wouldn't, as an investor, as a buyer, as a seller, I wouldn't take too much stock in that 47.2%, no matter how big of an impression that would leave you.
Yeah.
All right, so we talked about median price sales. We talked about the sales kind of being stagnant, maybe a little bit low. What are we doing price-wise, though?
So price actually, month over month. So I'm just going to compare from last month of June to July closings. Actually went up. It's actually the one time in this video we might mention up percentage, and it was 2%. So home values that closed actually went up 2% from June. But when you compare that to last July, it was down 3.2%. So not a huge downward spiral there. And I'm willing to bet when you see that these August numbers come out next month, that it's actually probably going to be pretty even because, we just mentioned the fire sale. Everybody wanted to list and sell their homes quick. And trust me, they were slashing prices fast last August just because they wanted to get.
Yeah, I think our month to month is going to be anything but flat, maybe a little bit lower. But I think our year over year comparisons are going to be really impressive to see kind of what happened, that trajectory of that last 6 months of 2022 to really explain the fire sale, no holds bar real estate market we had in the last 6 months of 2022.
Anybody flipping a home was like, get this off of me. I want to sell it as soon as possible. It was a little bit of a freak show for everybody, but we got through it, and guess what? We're on pace to go through it again.
It's looking a little scary, as I had mentioned a little bit earlier, actually.
Yeah.
We just hit a 20-year high of mortgage rates at 7.2%. That news came out today. It's not a big jump. It's not going from 3 to 6.5 like we had last year.
Yes.
But that news headline is not going to help anyone buyers or sellers, right?
Yeah. Nobody's going to reach out and call their lender right away and be like, hey, I heard it's the highest it's ever been in 20 years. Let's talk about me getting one of those.
Or let's talk about the refi,
Probably
right?
not. Or refinances even, yes.
So this is where I think that comes into play the most. We're going to talk about units available for sale. And with units available, you got to remember, we not only look at the numbers, but we look at month supply. And we talked about this in the past. We look at month supply as the typical number of homes sold per month compared to how many units are on the market. Historically speaking, 3 months of supply has been considered a neutral market. Anything under than that would be considered a seller's market. I think moving forward, at least for the next few cycles, I think that 3 month neutral plane is going to be much lower. I think we're going to be more of a two month supply to be considered neutral. I mean, just what we're seeing right now, we're not seeing sellers making bank on this 1.7 month supply and only 3,524 homes on the market.
Yeah, and buyers aren't flocking in the market either because of that 20-year high of mortgage rates as well. So those two things combined are probably going to have us stay around this month of supply number that we're going to talk about.
But that's why I want to talk about the mortgage rates. Not only scaring away buyers, it's scaring sellers away, because if you are sitting on a home that's at 285, even let's say 3.5 on interest rate.
Oh yeah.
Why are you going to sell your house if you don't need to? If you're not in a I just had a major life event. If you're the buyer that just wants something new, something changed, those buyers used to be on a 5 to 7 year cycle. You could just see people buying new homes just to kind of spice up life. We're not going to see that for a while.
No, especially if they purchased and, or refinance, let's just call it, either one in the last 2 years. If you really did that and you have that low interest rate, like, it's not smart to sell a loan with such a good interest rate on it. You could probably rent it and make some money off of it and go buy something else, and you'd have a better, future for you and your family with that in mind.
Or you're going to look at making those updates that you may have not wanted to go through the renovation of a kitchen, but now you're like, it doesn't look so bad.
Yeah, I love this mortgage payment. I will spend the 20 grand. Let's get new countertops and flooring, baby. Yeah, that's definitely an option that a lot of people are going to go. So
the last thing I want to talk about, and I know you had a stat that you'd been looking for. Yeah. In our past videos, we always talk about the auctions because Scott is a big auction guy. He is your expert if you're looking to go into the auction space. What's happening at the auctions?
Auction, it's really just staying flat. We see every month selling to a third party, which is an actual investor buying a home, because there's so many factors that go into buying a home.
Those are the people that call it, they're calling.
We can go down there. This is like if we went down and bought a home, or you can go down and buy a home if you have the cash just tomorrow if you'd like. But it's stayed about flat, around 30 to 40 homes sell every month this year. I think we peaked about 55. And the low was like 33. So it really hasn't fluctuated too much, Of course, 30 to 50, that's a high percentage point, but we're not talking about hundreds of homes like we used to talk about down at the auction.
Yeah.
So that's why, in my mind, it is staying pretty flat, because a lot of people talk about how it's really going to spike up, and we haven't seen that come actually.
There's just too much equity. There's just too much equity in people's homes. If they want to get out, they can sell it for a small discount.
Yeah. With those numbers said, there were 170 homes that were supposed to sell at auction, and only 30 actually sold to an investor. Yeah, the bank took some of those back, but a lot of the reasons are just like Beau said. These people had so much equity, they had a realtor, an investor, somebody reached out to them and said, hey man, let's sell your house.
Let's flash sell this. You won't have the ding on your credit.
So huge factor. So if you are in any hardship, like seriously, reach out to your real estate agent, anybody you know in the game, definitely Beau McDougall, because there's probably an opportunity for you to get out of there and not have that bankruptcy on your record, and probably walk away with some money.
Yeah, we can figure a way for you to restart too.
Yeah, definitely. So,
any other facts you want to talk about this?
Yeah. So let's just end it with a crazy one, just because it's kind of shocked my mind yesterday at a sales meeting that I had at Equity Title. So the last 20 years statistics of how many homes have closed in the year. Okay, it's been slow. It's been real slow. We kind of talked about that, It's slower than what the slow was last July, so just barely, but it is. We're on pace to have the least amount of closings that we've had in a fiscal year since 2000, and we all probably could say the number together, 8.
And for those of you that weren't around or weren't in the market then, that was the big crash.
So we're on pace for about 31,000 closings. Just last year was like 45,000. We were over 50,000. So 50,000 to 30,000. Kind of a big difference.
That's a big jump.
Yeah.
Well, I hope this information helped you guys in your real estate endeavors. We will be back next month with our market update.
Scott Lamborn, Equity Title of Nevada, your Beau Title guy.
Beau McDougall, broker of Next Home People First, and we'll see you later.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.